You're watching Taste of Victory.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are joined by Wilson, who got 7th place in the Digimon Ultimate Cup tournament this past weekend with Crossheart post-ban list. A lot of people have written this deck off because they thought the ban list just absolutely destroyed it. So Wilson is here to prove us otherwise. So Wilson, first off, something people will be very curious about. What made you think this deck was still good post-ban list that you wanted to take it to this tournament?
Mainly since the restriction took out the cross fours, that really slowed down the process of it, but it the core of it is to chip with all the other the material guys, so I mean that's still being there. It's still as aggressive as it was. You're just not winning more every time you go cross 4 because you can't do it as often.
Right. It's more like a Rookie Rush playstyle now, and X4 was just like securing the game.
Yeah, it would really help lock down games easily for you, but now there's a little more stuff you got to think about.
So do you want to go ahead and get into the card by card and show us what you put in with the new slots that were opened up?
Yeah, so we'll start off with the eggs. You just get the 4 Pickmon. It was made for the deck. You know, the draws really help the deck move. You don't need the 5th one, just 4.
Yeah.
And okay, so starting with the Digimon, Starmons at 4. This is the rookie that it's the one you're not going to be hard playing or evoing into and raising most of the time, because it's the weakest one if you play or evo. The thing about it is the draw. So I'd always have it in hand or slotted under, just to be ready to use for cross. The Sparrow, that's at 4. This one is the one you want to use in raising, because when you have another cross out, it counts as 5k, and that's all turns, so sometimes you'd be swinging and it'll survive. You get the draw from the pick. Then they gotta deal with this guy if you don't use it to cross that turn, or you can start swinging the next turn.
Cool.
And then the Shoutmon, this is definitely at 4. Well, on play, you get to reveal 3, and then you add a cross Digimon and a cross Tamer to hand, so it's +2. It's really good. And then the Inheritable is what gets the Shouts Rush, gives you your Shouts Rush.
Yeah. When
you cross into it. So Dorulumon 4 again. This one is the on play, it negs 3k for until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's persistent, so when you play it, even if you don't kill or delete a guy off of it for the 3k, it's still persistent throughout their turn, so keep that in mind. And then the Inheritables -2k to their security. You got Ballista F4 is the blocker of the deck, and the Inheritables giving piercing, so gotta have those at 4. You know that cross 4 is limited to 1, so you just use 1. Then in place of it, I added 2 kings. On play, you can actually recycle cross 4, cross 5 back to your hand from trash, and you can cross this as a material for anything. Just for that turn though, it's not a thing that lasts for multiple turns. It's the only time is that one. Inheritable is really good. It helps you swing over big guys. It gives Shout +2k. Cross 5's at 4. You gotta have it at 4 now, because you just need to see it. Every time you see it, it's good. What's really good about it is it could be free, and crossing it with this guy will help swing over their 6s, and it won't die, so it'll survive a reboot off of Sparrow the next turn and be a blocker. DeathX at 2. I had it at 2 pre restriction for the mirror and stuff, but in the meta that I saw during the Ulti Cup, it kind of felt bad seeing this. I had 2 in hand and didn't even use it. I mean, I used it a couple times, but I would probably take 1 out. For Tamers, Taiki's at 4. He does everything. This is the guy you want to see. If you can play him in turn 1, you just play him turn 1, because he'll keep you going the rest of the game. Zenjiro at 4. At the pre-ban, I had him at 3, but since King Shout costs 3, you're gonna need like the extra memory when you play him, so he costs less. You're gonna need it if you don't have your memory tamers out, because so it doesn't push over when you go into King. So he's at 3. You play him, and then you can play blocker off of it too. So of course at 4. Akari's at 3. On play, you can also play the Dorulu off of it. I have it at 3 because I wanted to slide in an extra TK and Kari, but honestly I could probably fit that in for, I'd probably sub it out and then do like 4. But it was good seeing these guys because it really helps cross 5 survive a turn and become your blocker. And then even just swinging with your little guys, it'll help survive, and then they gotta like deal with it if it does survive, or you're just gonna be chipping back. 1 Tai and then 2 Kirihas. Like prior to the restriction, I didn't have any of these guys. I opted for 2 Tais, but now that like cross 4 is gone, you're gonna need to see like multiples of guys you can tap to cross into. And like having these, like having a lot and seeing them is pretty redundant sometimes in some games, but like if you're playing like nine rounds, like there's gonna be games where you just don't see one or the other, and having more out or having the chance to get them out is really crucial. So have them at 2 and then tie 1. For the options, I got Fireball, 2 Fireballs, 2 Crimsons, and then 1 Sunrise. So Fireball could be just straight up subbed out. I don't think it's necessary. The draw is cool for sure, but you're drawing so much inherently, like the stars, the pick, Akari. It's not really necessary, like personally. But Crimson Blaze overperformed. Like I'd love seeing this card whenever I can. Not only does it delete 6Ks, it stops the Digimon being played by effects for your opponent's next turn. And like the thing I would do is taking out level 5s. I could just play Dorulu neg 3k and then like kill it with Crimson. So that was really good. I might even just like do straight up 4 Crimson. I was thinking about doing Wyverns. I know people put in Wyverns since like Sunrise got restricted, but it's so heavy. Like at 8, I think you're slowing down your entire game plan. I'd rather just like play out a Tamer to play a Digimon, or just like keep progressing instead of just bombing one of their big guys and then like you give them a ton of memory and you got no value out of it on your board now. So Sunrise at 1, obviously. This guy, I mean, you gotta have it at 1. Even at 1 I saw it, especially when I needed it. I took out Omni X. Yeah, I think it was like 15k, so I had like 4 Tamers on board after using this. And then off of the Akari, I played the Dorulu and took out the Omni X.
So King Shoutmon, I know a lot of people were like brainstorming that card after they heard about the ban list. When you played your game, did you ever go into him for game with the Rush cross off of the other Shoutmon?
Yeah. This actually won me so many games going into, because I have the Tamer, so I'm like, it's guaranteed to be played and not pass over, so I would cross into him for game.
Would you think of upping him, or you think 2 is still a good count?
Yeah, actually, I would put him at 3. I don't think I would have him at 4, because even when I revealed him with Taiki, sometimes I would bottom deck him.
Yeah.
But 3 would be good. He's like, I like to see it.
Okay, that's awesome. So, what matchups did you face this tournament?
For matchups, I played against 3 Metal Garurumons, 2 Jesmon, 1 Sekon, 1 Imperial, 1 like Fani Masti, and a Wargrey.
What would you say was the hardest one out of that?
Like, I don't think they differed in difficulty. It's just that you gotta like respect every single matchup. It's not gonna be easy. You're just gonna have to make sure you stick to your game plan, and then play it out the same way. There's different ways of playing out the matchups, but I don't think one really is like, oh, this one's definitely harder than the other. If you run into a Black War Gray with BT9 Mega Dramons, you just like scoop because that's impossible. But outside of that, I think every matchup seems like winnable. You have a good chance. You have a chance.
That's awesome to hear. So the Sparrowmon, a lot of people like to run it at 3. Was it always 4 of, or is that because of the ban list?
Oh, I always had it at 4 because I liked seeing it to go into raising.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I took out the 3 cross 4s and then 2 sunrises, and in place I put 2 kings, 2 Kirihas, and the 1 Tai and Kari, but you know, this one could be subbed for another Akari sunrise. It like doesn't but you do have options of dealing with like bigger bodies, but like you Dorulu, and then you like can swing with it. You can swing cross 5 over it, but if it's like way too big, you really can't deal with it outside of the 1. It doesn't really have a blanket answer to every single deck, but you know, it does what it does. Like you rush, the whole thing is like to rush with the small guys, save them, and then cross into what you can cross into, deal more damage, try to outpace them, out aggro them. For like the Melgas matchups, I know I had to be like extremely aggressive, so I would like, I think in those I would even try to go cross 5 like turn 2 without like all my sources, just see if they can do anything with it, and if it still survives coming back to my turn, then I'm swinging for 2 off a cross 5, whatever rookie or whatever Digimon I have will continue to chip, and you just outpace them before they can get to their 5 and 6.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for the profile on the deck. It makes a lot of sense and was really informative. I don't have any further questions, but if there's anything you'd like to let people know about, like a shout out or something like that.
Yeah, just like shout out my like guys I practiced with: Ben, Marshmoon, Paul, John, Adam, Luis, Ryan, Mitchell, Josh, Warren Berry, just everyone in the Wandering Tamers Discord. You guys know who you are. It's too much more to list. James Ludwig, he really helped me out playtesting and theory crafting. He actually won a Alti Cup a few months back. And Perfect Circle Games in Niles. That's my locals. The owners are really nice over there, Mike and there. Pretty much it.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Wilson. This was a really informative deck profile. It's really exciting to see this deck like performing well post ban list. So that's going to be the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.